just for the benefit for all our viewers, we need to just recap what has happened so far. Initially, we were talking about a 25% tariff, which would actually come into effect on the 7th of August. But now an additional 25% tariff that has been imposed, and this will kick in effective the 27th of August. Those are the key details that we are picking up. And the major impact over here is going to be in terms of the export-oriented sectors like pharmaceuticals. In fact, that has been one of the sectors that was ruling under pressure today. Apart from that, textiles, I think last 2 to 3 trading sessions have been really weak for this sector. And I think this was something that all of these companies were probably anticipating as well. And in anticipation of this, the pressure did continue. Overall, if you talk about energy companies as well, companies like Body Energies, Premier Energies, all of them are the ones, as you're seeing on your screens, which could potentially see an impact as well in terms of trade today. And the key is, how are FPIs going to look at India? Because we were talking about India as a friend of USA, a China plus strategy play for the FPIs as well. To get more details on this and how others are viewing it, we have Marc, Chandler, Managing Director at Bannockburn Capital Markets, joining in. Marc, welcome to the show and a pleasure to speak to you at NDTV Profit. My first question coming to you is an additional 25% tariff. What would this actually mean, according to you, for the markets from here on? Because 50% is something I don't think so any other Asian country is looking at.
I think you're right. This is a very high level of tariff. What amazes me, I'm an American, U.S. citizen, and the U.S. imports materials, agricultural things from Russia. And I'm surprised. It's not about like whataboutism, but it's really about hypocrisy in the U.S. foreign economic policy, putting a tariff on India. And Indian goods coming to the United States. I mean, I think that it's hypocritical. And also, here's what's happening, right? The U.S. says if another country like China or India trades with Russia, we're going to punish Americans by raising the consumption tax. That's what the tariff is. So on one hand, I think, yes, Indian sectors will be hurt by this. I do not expect India to stop trading with Russia, whether it's for oil or whether it's for weapons. I think that that's not going to change. And I think that the cost is going to be borne in the U.S., both in the short run as a tax on consumers, but also in the longer run as the U.S. seeks to build up an alliance against China. India was a key player in that. And now I think that this will strengthen India's traditional desire to be in a more non-aligned grouping.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Marc. But stay with us. Let me go back to Santosh. Santosh, you did mention in the previous point as well that this will somewhere slow down the way FPIs are looking at Indian markets. Do you think there is a potential where the FPI who slow down investments in India will be in sectors which are export-oriented, which have exposure to the US? But will that churn happen where FPIs will then start betting on India's growth story from a domestic perspective, sectors which have high domestic exposure only?
Yeah, it's too early to say. I think in the near term, it'll hit export-oriented companies. But you know what? I was just listening to everybody. I just don't see how this can go on. I know all the countries are waiting for things to calm down. I think India was the first to really resist US so aggressively. But better sense needs to prevail because we need a good trading order right now. So yes, it'll affect India in the near term, but we have 21-day cooling off period. So let's see where that goes. There will be some concessions on both sides, hopefully. But if it doesn't work, then yes, it's definitely going to affect companies and just affect the flow of funds into India, because we don't know where that'll end. How aggressive, how much the Indian government wants to escalate this, and how much US government wants to. So we just don't know at this point. At this point, it doesn't look right. It needs this inconsistency, this hypocrisy needs to be exposed. hopefully something will prevail, some sense will prevail, and maybe even Prime Minister Modi gets involved at some point at the Trump's level and then kind of sort it out.